What's up, comic book fans? And welcome to Comics Icons. Now, JJ, what they call me. And today, we got more Blood Hunt. This time with the third and final issue of Black Panther Blood Hunt. And if you missed the last issue or any other from Marvel's bloodiest event ever, then I place a card at the top of the screen to the last issue, as well as another for the entire playlist for this event. Plus, I'll put up both links at the end of the video too. But when we left off with this series, we gotta look back, way back in time to when Varney desecrated the people of Wakanda, and all the gods of both the East and West African pantheons banded together to stop him. Meanwhile, in present day, T'Challa was tasked by his new master, Blade, to retrieve his sunken temple of the first blasphemy from deep below Wakanda. But at the end of the issue, T'Challa would indeed, with the help of Bast and the blood of her sister Anuket, travel underwater beneath Wakanda, where he was then confronted by Atlantean guards denying him passage and threatening to make this place his tomb if he refuses to leave. So if you guys are ready to find out what happens when T'Challa refuses to leave, plus what new surprises await T'Challa after drinking from the blood of his god's sister, and what else happened back in the way back with the gods, and you guys know what time it is. Let's get it. So this issue picks up right where the last one ended before the events of Blood Hunt issue number 3 take place, with him bringing the temple into Central Park. And right now he's face to face with the temple ruins and Atlantean guards that want his head for trespassing in their waters. But T'Challa wants no quarrel with Atlantis right now, and he tells them that he's not here as an act of aggression. But for them, him simply being here is enough for them to send it up from insult. And they don't really buy his claims that this temple was once ancient ruins of Wakanda. So T'Challa tells the guards to summon their king, Namor, but the guards refuse. Down here, T'Challa is no king. He is their equal, and the guards see no reason to seek Namor's counsel. But T'Challa quickly teaches these dudes that they are nowhere close to being his equal, as he unleashes a new power bestowed on him from the blood of Anuket, and takes out these Atlantean guards like they were nothing at all. And then we pick up with Bast, still in the Wakandan nature preserve, awaiting the return of her champion T'Challa, as Anuket returns alone. And the first question Bast asks is, has Varney's temple been destroyed? But Bast merely asked Anuket to guide T'Challa to the ruins. She didn't say anything about destroying them, so she knows nothing about that, which straight up pisses off Bast, who let the hood out for a second and snatched up Anuket by the ponytail. She wanted Anuket to stay with him during his quest to aid him and make sure that the demon's hold on him is severed. But none of that was ever agreed on by Anuket, although she did kind of make sure to sever that connection. And we'll see what comes from that later, because T'Challa is definitely craving some more of Anuket right now. And then we pick back up in the way back, as the guy Koku finishes his battle with Varney, which we saw begin in the previous issue. But Varney vows to obliterate every Koku temple for destroying his gate and robbing him of his godhood ascension. But Koku taunts Varney. Godhood was never in the cards for a demon like Varney. He's a desecration, Koku tells him. A living rot. A heart that doesn't beat and lungs that draw no breath. Who is he to claim godhood when he's barely alive? Bars. In the end, Koku decides to show Varney a true display of godly power as he begins to torch Varney's temple. In fact, Koku displays so much power that he begins to endanger the land all around them, causing all the other gods to try and convince him to stop. But when he doesn't, the god Ishu has to get involved, and he's seen enough as he strikes down Koku and Varney. And now his judgment is at hand after witnessing all that has happened. And after he finds these gods to be lacking, we pick back up with T'Challa approaching the temple ruins in Atlantis. And as he approaches, he's gripped by a primordial fear that he can't really explain. But then he's met with a bunch of warped Atlantean and Wakandan-looking people, now turned creatures, chained just inside the entrance of the temple. And they try to attack T'Challa, mistaking him for a sacrifice for them to feast on. So T'Challa uses his newfound strength to put these creatures out of their misery and tears them all apart. T'Challa is savage now. That was brutal. But in the way back, we see that Eshu's judgment is for both Koku and Bast to be bound to Wakanda to serve as warning, which is a ruling that Bast is definitely not a fan of. But Khonshu, however, is rewarded for his willingness to rush in service of mankind, so he's free to move around. But as Eshu leaves, he gives both the Pantheons the task of deciding the fate of the land as one. Meanwhile, Bast beats down on Koku a little bit for getting them into trouble. But before they can decide on what to do with the land, they need Anuket and water. And then we pick back up with T'Challa at the temple ruins as he comes across an ancient language carved into the walls that he does not recognize. But he also does not feel like the markings were made by man, nor for man, as he runs his hand across the symbols, which prick his finger and is activated by his blood, followed by a voice that tells T'Challa that he has found them and asks if he would like to come and join them on the other side. But no, he does not. He quickly responds, as then dark force begins to protrude from the walls of the temple. So T'Challa quickly tries to swim away, while calling for the impossible city to triangulate his coordinates and teleport everything within the structure, with the exception of he himself, to Central Park. And while T'Challa hurries his ass up out of that temple, he thinks to himself that he's finally got his answer of who he still follows, seeing as though he just did the bidding of Blade and sent him his prized city. And as the temple teleports from Atlantis to Central Park, T'Challa also thinks that the city just sold his last act of defiance within that temple. And his hope is that Blade's prize ultimately destroys him, just like T'Challa feels that it has destroyed himself. But eventually he re-emerges from the water still alive, and he's met with Bast and Anuket, as Bast thanks her sister for helping her champion. And even though the temple still remains, at least her champion can still continue to fight another day. And as she welcomes him back with more heart-shaped herb, that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of the issue. So what did you guys think about the issue? And what do you think that last act of defiance was from T'Challa that he hopes will take down Blade? I'm thinking that it was his blood. That maybe since he drank from the blood of Anuket, maybe that will corrupt the temple. But I can't wait to hear what you guys think will happen going forward. I love to hear all you guys' different theories, so keep them coming down in the comments. And as always, if you guys enjoyed this video and this channel, and you'd like to support the channel, then you could do so by stopping by the Comics Icon store and picking you up some of this merchandise, including the background music heard right here in this video available for download, or by joining the Iconic Fan Club channel membership, and there'll be a link in the description to join. But with your membership, your voice will be heard during our interactive live streams with yours truly, where we could talk about everything that's been going down in these issues, as well as ones that you'd like for me to go over in the future and all kinds of other comic book news. Plus, you guys will get loyalty badges, member shout-outs, and up to 20% off of Comics Icon's merchandise from the Comics Icon store. And we've got tiers to the memberships as well, beginning at just 99 cents. Or you guys can donate to the channel with a super thanks. And if you're not able to do any of those, then you can still be a tremendous help to the future of this channel by dropping a like, share, and subscribing to Comics Icons for more icons in the comic book world. And don't forget to turn on those notifications so you don't miss out on a single drop. But ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time. I'm out.